Good morning. I think I'm also going to try to do this on Instagram for the fun of it. So give me a moment because I just thought of that. When I don't have a guest, it's easy to do a live, then there's no feedback and stuff. So, okay. All right. So, hello, Instagram. Hello, Facebook. Hello, future people watching this on YouTube. This is Coffee Talk, and no guests today, just me. So I thought we would talk about sensitivity. So many people think sensitivity is a weakness or a wrongness. How many of you have that point of view as well? But what if it isn't? What if sensitivity is actually a superpower? And, so many things that are superpowers have been made wrong so that we don't use them. Sensitivity is an amazing ability that we have that is awareness, and it may be uncomfortable. A lot of times it's not even ours, it's just awareness of something in the world. And it's not even something we necessarily have to handle. One of the examples I like to use is, let's say one of your neighbors is having construction done on their house, and you hear the noises and you feel the grumbling, and it's a little uncomfortable, but it's not your house. It's nothing you need to do. It's just, what would it take for that to be easier on you and your body? So sometimes it requires going somewhere else. Sometimes it requires just simply expanding and relaxing and letting go of the urge to fight or get upset, because that only makes the issue, harder to deal with. So sometimes just removing yourself from the premises is your best bet. But what about sensitivity to other awarenesses? We are now in the midst of the holiday season. How many of you have felt this like uptick of stress and drama and need and all kinds of energetic awareness, just turning it up and making you feel a little at the effect of it? One of the things that Dr. Dane was talking about on his 15 billion telecall, it's a monthly telecall, is that there's this electromagnetic stuff out there that's constantly being blasted out into the universe. And he said that it got turned up right after Thanksgiving. So how many of you are aware of that? And what if it's not a problem? What if we just acknowledge we're aware of something? First of all, that makes it so much easier. And then, ask yourself a question like, what can I be or do or choose that would make this easier for me? Is there anything required of me? And it's kind of crazy that you can ask, is there anything required? And you probably are thinking that there is, that you need to do something, that if you're aware of it, then it's yours, but it's not usually anything that you need to deal with. It's one of those, who does it belong to moments. you know? And sometimes just being aware of it, asking the question, is this relevant? Is there anything that I can do or be to change it? And if it's no, it's like, all right, then it's just there. But somehow acknowledging it takes it out from being your main focus and kind of puts it into the background so that you can concentrate on or put your energy into what you would like rather than being at the effect of something that's not even yours to deal with. So I can feel that that's bringing up a bunch of stuff. So everywhere you presumed, if you could perceive it, it's yours and you need to deal with it. And it's something that you have to handle or that you're wrong in some way. Will you destroy and uncreate that, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. I think I saw a comment somewhere, but with all my screens, I'm not able to see them. Sorry. I could see comments on Instagram, so if you want to comment there, that works. And, any questions that you might have. Happy that you're here watching. So the space of being an allowance to your own sensitivity, to noises, to things that bother you. The tool interesting point of view really can give you the space of allowance. Many of you may know that Gary Douglas, founder of Access, just released a new book called The Gift of Allowance, and it's an amazing book. Might be hard for some people to read it, but there's an audiobook that's brilliant, and his examples of how we were trained as kids to basically feel like we were wrong, be what do you call it, gaslit and brainwashed into thinking certain things. It's really quite brilliant. You'll have to check it out. I think it's on Amazon and probably the Access website as well. But interesting point of view is sort of like your escape from anything that's bothering you. Anything, literally anything. And thank you for the comments. So this is how it works if you've never heard of it. Something comes up. Let's say, well, I live pretty close to an area where there's a bunch of stores and there's shopping and it's Christmas time and I can feel the chaos. Like I can totally feel it, even from my house. It just amped up really big right after Thanksgiving. And so with that awareness, I can just say, wow, interesting point of view that I have this point of view. Interesting that I can perceive this. Interesting that I think that I need to do something with it. Interesting that I think it bothers me or it affects me in any way. Oh, there's a comment. I was thinking, if I perceive it, I didn't receive it. Huh? That makes me fighting my awareness. After being the tool, what would it take for my allowance to exceed my awareness? Things change. Yes, exactly. It's so funny how we come up with these ideas of how we think this tool works or how we expect reality is. And it's not. Everything is pretty much the opposite. That's why that other tool, everything is the opposite of what it appears to be. Nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be, is an amazing, amazing tool to just repeat You usually have no brains after you say that 1 or 2 or 3 times. Everything's the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. And then just perceive the space, feel the space. And how many of you think space is bad and wrong also instead of a superpower? Did you know that being spacious is actually a superpower? It can melt people's tension just by you walking by, just by you being there. You don't have to even do anything. And when you recognize and know this, maybe your body won't be as tense as you're walking through the world, being around other people who are all tied up. It's funny too, because a lot of people tell me I'm very grounded, or I'm very, like, I sound really relaxed. They're like, are you tired? Are you going to go to sleep? Or did you just wake up? I'm like, no, I'm just spacious. I like it. And there's a misidentification of relaxed versus tired. So, what if you can be relaxed and spacious? And it doesn't mean that you're tired or bored. So, everything that has been made wrong about you that is actually a superpower, are you willing to embrace it, to acknowledge it, to receive it, to be it, regardless of anybody else's point of view? Everything that doesn't allow that, right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. One of my favorite tools to add for allowance and more is how much space can my body and I occupy not to be impacted, affected, or impinged by other people's universes? That's a great question. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, what else was I going to share? Oh, yeah, the space of allowance is very interesting. I asked Dane a question the other day about allowance, because the more you be allowance, the more it seems like you're just this observer. And it almost feels strange because you're not hooked in to the polarity of right and wrong, good and bad. You're not hooked in so much. So it almost seems like you're being withdrawn or removed, but you're not, because you're actually really present. It's a very strange dynamic. And I was looking at that because the thing that we're used to is aligning and agreeing with people or resisting and reacting to people, which keeps us tied to certain reference points that make it seem like we exist or something. And yet, when we don't have the points of view, we are there, we are present, we are aware. But it's not this sticky thing. It's like you have total choice. So it feels really different. It feels really, really disorienting in a way, because there is no reference point. There is no sticky. So anywhere you might be starting to perceive that or feel like you're going to be disconnected if you're interesting point of view, or like feel like you're not caring if you're being interesting point of view? What if that's not true? And everywhere you're trying to come to conclusion about what interesting point of view should be like or must be like, and that you're not being it, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. How many of you are conclusion queens and kings? Recovering conclusion queen. Okay, sensitivity. Okay, so there's sensitivity with awareness that's more mental, and then there's sensitivity with your body. I notice like I'm sweater off, sweater on, sweater off, sweater on. That's the heat's coming on and it's going off. My body's sensitive to these things. And so I'm just adjusting. So hopefully it's not distracting for you, but I'm taking care of my body. It gives me lots of awarenesses of things. And what if the awarenesses that your body gives you is not wrong? It's not bad. What if you could celebrate the connection that you have with your body and have more fun with the awarenesses instead of being at the effect of any of them? Everything this is that doesn't allow the ease, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Oh, that makes my body really happy. How is your body feeling? Bodies really like to be acknowledged. You know, so many people are like, drag it here, push it there, make it get up, make it work out, make it do all these things, instead of like, body, how would you like to move? Body, would you like to eat? Body, would you like to rest? What are you showing me? There's such an ease that you can have with your body if you're not in judgment of it, and if you're also not in conclusion about the sensitivity that your body shows you with its awareness. I'm so glad your body's happy too. Awesome. So sometimes you hear Dr. Dane talk about switching into ESB mode and SOP mode. It's interesting. When you're listening, you may or may not perceive it, but when you're facilitating, like I am now, it's like, oh, that's what he's talking about. It just turns on this like energy that's like, oh. And then you kind of don't want to talk because it's yummy. So just a little SOP for you all. Hmm. Thank you. Ah. Some space and sparkles A lot of people think space is empty, but there's a fullness to space. Ooh. And when we're in this space, that's when the energetic contribution can be received so much easier, not so much thinking going on, distracting the receiving. There's so much constant stuff out there. TV, radio, Instagram, all of these things putting out all this energy. But what if there are some things that invite you to be more of the space of you, more of the magic of you? And what would it take to gravitate towards those things that invite you to be, instead of distract you from being? Hmm. Woo. This is fun. Thank you guys for being here. And tomorrow, a little earlier than this time, I have a free Zoom on what's it called? Fear of entities or something like that. So if you haven't signed up, you can go to my website, julietootenenergy.com, or just hit the link in my bio. It's a free Zoom. And this is the third of 3. So if you sign up for it, you'll get all 3 recordings. What's been really interesting is over the last 3 weeks that I've been facilitating these Zooms on entities, just little tasters on Talk to the Entities. It's really shifted a whole lot of cool stuff in my world. And each person who's gotten on and given me feedback, it's like, it's not scary. It actually adds to the peace and space and relaxation for them. So come check it out. Don't be scared. Be scary instead. Have a magical day, everybody. Thanks for watching.